Experiment 3. It has been suggested that a major problem with the conclusion of the Pornography Commission report was the lack of research on porno violence or aggressive content in erotic forms of materials. This lack of research was surprising, given the results of the National Commission on the Causes and Prevention of Violence, dealing with media aggression and its effect on subsequent aggressive behavior. Given the nature of most erotic films, in which women are depicted in a submissive passive role, any subtle aggressive content could act to increase aggression against females because of their association with observed aggression. As noted in the work of Berkowitz, one important determinant of whether an aggressive response is made is the presence of aggressive cues. Not only objects, but individuals can take on aggressive cue value if they have been associated with observed violence. Thus, in the context of the present research, the viewing of more sexually aggressive films might facilitate aggression towards females because of the aggression eliciting stimulus properties of the female target from her repeated association with observed violence. This increase in aggression should be especially true for previously angered individuals who are already predisposed to aggress. In the research discussed up to this point, the films employed did not contain acts of aggression. If they did, perhaps the results would have differed with respect to female victims. In order to examine this issue, male subjects in the present study were angered or treated in a neutral manner by a male or female. They were then shown one of 3 films. 2 of the films were highly erotic but differed in aggressive content. While one film was entirely non-aggressive, the other depicted the rape of a woman by a man who breaks into her house and forces her at gunpoint into sexual activity. The third film was a neutral, non-erotic and non-aggressive presentation. The major results are presented in Figure 2. 2 interactions occurred which deserve attention. The first, anger by film, indicated that both the erotic and aggressive erotic film increased aggression, primarily in angered individuals. The largest increase occurred, however, for subjects exposed to the aggressive erotic film. The second interaction, sex of target by film, indicated that while both types of erotic films increased aggression against a male, only the aggressive erotic film facilitated aggression against a female, and this level of aggression was higher than that directed against a male. Why would aggression be increased against the female after exposure to the aggressive erotic film? One potential explanation is that the female's association with the victim in the film made her an aggressive stimulus that could elicit aggressive responses. The combination of anger and arousal from the film heightened this response and led to the highest level of aggression against the female. But even under non-anger conditions, aggression was increased. This was not the case for subjects paired with a male. Under non-anger, the aggressive erotic film did not influence aggression against the male target. It would seem then that the female's association with observed violence was an important contributor to the aggressive responses toward her. If this is the case, then it would be expected that films that depict violence against women, even without sexual content, could act as a stimulus for aggressive acts toward women. It seems important, therefore, for future research to begin a systematic investigation into the context of women's association with violence in the media. Figure 2. Mean shock intensity as a function of sex of target by films and anger by films. Okay, so on the y-axis is mean shock intensity from 0 to 6 still, and now it is split up into 2 chunks of sex by film and anger by film. And on the x-axis are the film conditions, neutral, erotic, or aggressive erotic. And in sex by film, the mean shock intensity for neutral stimuli is similar. For an erotic film, men are shocked a little more than women, and for aggressive erotic, women are shocked way more than men. And anger by film, in the neutral stimuli, men are shocked more than women, and in the erotic stimuli, men are also shocked more than women. There's a bit of an increase, and for the aggressive erotic, men are shocked way more than women. Conclusion and implications. It was the intention of the present research to examine the effects that certain media presentations have on aggression against women. Results from these investigations suggest that films of both an erotic and aggressive nature can be a mediator of aggression toward women. In addition to the theoretical implications of these results, there is a more applied question that has been the concern of the present paper. When it is found that 50% of university females report some form of sexual aggression, 39% of the sex offenders questioned indicate that pornography had something to do with the crime they committed, and the incidence of rape and other sexual assaults have increased, then the question of what conditions precipitate such actions should be examined. The present research suggests that specific types of media account for part of these actions. Given the increase in sexual and other forms of violence against women depicted in the media, a concern over such presentations seems warranted. There is ample evidence that the observation of violent forms of media can facilitate aggressive responses. Yet to assume that the depiction of sexual aggression could not have a similar effect, particularly against females, would be misleading. Given the findings of the present studies, it seems important for future investigations to begin a systematic examination of the role of the media in aggression against women.